And just like always, NBA, a league that doesn't have a lot of parity, same teams usually make it in every year, but we saw the Milwaukee Bucks have a first round match, a team that, has been stuck in purgatory for so long, that 8, 9, 10 floating around there. But I don't think they stand any chance against the Heat, but are there any other teams that you guys see?
In the first round or just overall?
Making a run? A team that's a 5 and up.
Okay, 5 and up. I'll go with the Celtics, just because I think experience. I think Avery Bradley's a really underrated defender for people who don't really watch the NBA that much. And then another guy pretty much similar to him in Courtney Lee. Then you have Jason Terry, and I do think the X factor is Jeff Green because if he can get 15 or 20 a game consistently. Like he has, for portions of the season, they've really been a tough team to beat. And that would help Pierce out with the scoring load.
And Danny, you definitely know about this. What do you think Jeff Green's problem was to start the season?
Well, he's coming off a heart surgery.
But
doctors were saying that he won't be himself till around March 1st. Doctors ended up being right because Jeff Green took a step right around March 1st. He's been a whole other player, and I think KG being out of the lineup has been a big factor for that, and Rondo being out of the lineup a lot. He's had to take that burden. And, if you watch the Celtics play now, there's no real true point guard out there. Avery Bradley is a point guard size, and he can dribble pretty well. He has point guard's athleticism, but they don't look to him as the point guard right now. It's if Jeff Green gets the rebound, he outlets, he goes, or he takes it himself. Same with Paul Pierce. And I think that offense is just that free-wheeling offense with all the movement has been really good for the Celtics. And I think if I was going to pick a team, 5 through 8, I would also that has a chance of making a run. I think it would be the Celtics, just for the inexperience of the Knicks, and I think Carmelo still has a stigma about him as not being a clutch player. But yeah, my X Factor team to make a run is Brooklyn. I know there are 4, but Gerald Wallace is playing the worst basketball of his career right now.
What a terrible trade that was.
Yeah, oh my God. We're going to trade the 6th pick in the draft.
Yeah. Blazers ended up getting Lillard with that big rookie there.
They also could have made that same deal for Paul Pierce. Imagine if Paul Pierce was the small forward for Brooklyn. I think you're talking about a team that has a really good second or third option right there that is capable of staying in front of LeBron for 30 minutes a game. So I think that's a big thing. But if Gerald Wallace can somehow get out of his funk, and you hear quotes come out today that this is the worst basketball I've played in my career. My confidence level is the lowest it's ever been. He's averaging 2 shots a game in the month of April. 2. He's that afraid to shoot right now. But at the same time, he's an all-world defender and
hitting the boards.
Yeah, he can rebound. He can get
out
of
that
fast break.
15-plus rebounding streak that was going on for him.
So I think Brooklyn is a team to watch. I'm not promising anything from them, but I think they're a team to watch.
Definitely, and they'll be probably making a big move this offseason to kind of complete their puzzle there. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't even have to be a player on the court. But with that said, we talked about sleepers, but let's move on to who our predictions are for the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. For me, I have the 1 and 2 seeds coming out of the Eastern Conference and the Knicks and the Heat. I just think that the Knicks are going to hit those streaks. They're gonna get streaky with their threes, and that's gonna really help. I don't necessarily think that Carmelo will have the postseason that he would want, but and going up against the Heat, I think he'll be totally shut down. But I think they'll get to that point, and then the Heat will end up getting to the finals, and then I would have to say OKC, and even though I was doubting the Nuggets earlier against Golden State, I still see them as sneaking in and being able to.
Spurs.
Yeah. The Lakers could give the Spurs a run for their money. We've seen it happen before. That was when the Spurs were the 1 seed and when they were facing Memphis and they got overthrown because people were making a big deal about when Parker went down about are the Spurs the Spurs not being that 1 seed is going to be very detrimental to their chances of winning maybe a last championship with that core. But we've seen the Spurs struggle being that 1 seed in these last 2 seasons. But who do you guys see coming out of the East and West?
I'm sticking with my preseason picks of the Thunder Spurs in the West. I still feel like the Spurs have a lot of guys they can throw at you. Popovich is still the premier coach, I feel like, in the NBA. And they still, Parker's hopefully should be, close to 100%. And even without Ginobili, they still have guys like, Gary Neal can come in and fill that scoring void. Splitters, had a good season. And Duncan's obviously rejuvenated.
I really like their reserve front court. I think that could, be key for them in the postseason.
Right.
Especially because defense is so key.
Yeah. And then I'm going to stick with the Thunder over the Spurs. And then the East, I really do like the Pacers still. I feel like, if they play the Knicks or if it is the Celtics, either one, I feel like they have the advantage. Just because, they can score from more places on the floor than the Knicks. Or if they play the Celtics, I feel like they have the size inside. And I'm going with the Heat, obviously, there. And then I'm going Heat over Thunder again.
Yeah, I forgot to mention my final. I would go Heat over Thunder as well.
Going out on a limb.
And do you guys, I don't remember, do they reseed after the first game?
No.
So it'll be, if a 7 upsets a 2, then a 7 will play a 3.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I think the 2 best teams in the West are the Thunder and the Clippers.
That's what. Yeah,
But,
that's why.
The Thunder Clippers might be the de facto Western Conference final. I'm also gonna. While I don't believe the Spurs are that in a place to get to the Western Conference Finals, I think they're going to. I just think that the West ended up being a lot weaker than we thought it was going to be.
With those injuries, yeah.
With the injuries, the Nuggets I feel like would be the sexy pick. Wilson Chandler has stepped up, but I'm going to take the guys that know how to win in the playoffs, and that's the Spurs. That's kind of the same way I'm going to pick over in the East. Obviously, I'm picking the Heat. I don't need to say that I picked the Thunder in the West. I can go through that. And I'm going to pick the Heat, and then I really don't know where to go with the 2 through 8.
I know you want to pick this up.
2 through 8. Who's going to score in the fourth quarter for the Pacers? Is David West your go-to guy, or are you going to trust Paul George to win you games? I don't think you can. And I think that when Indiana started making some noise earlier this season, when they were the only team that had beaten the Heat twice, and they went into, I believe, Boston, and Boston just shut them down and won. I think they kind of proved that without Danny Granger, they don't really have that guy in crunch time that can win them games. They're a great team. And I think in the NBA, at some point, it's your stars that are going to carry you there. That's why I want to pick the Knicks. With that said, Celtics are going to beat the Knicks. So I really don't know who I'm picking at all to face the Heat. Cause I really don't think it's important.
Yeah.
When the Heat signed Shane Battier last year, I think in my mind it's like, all right, they got the perfect role player. They're going to win the next 3 championships. Then they go out and get Ray Allen, and it's just like that's not even fair. Rashard Lewis is like he started playing, and now he's getting like 15 a game while he plays. And will he even have a postseason role? It doesn't matter because the Heat are that much better than everyone else. So it'll be Heat Thunder. I think that it'll be cool to watch Durant and LeBron go at it. Hopefully Russell Westbrook stays out of the way, and eventually the Heat will win.
And we'll go on to our overtime topic. Danny, you were talking about how Brooklyn's your X Factor team this postseason, but what about an X Factor player?
Let's see. I mentioned a couple. I think Iman Shumpert's one for sure, and I think Gerald Wallace is too. But let's see. We'll throw out another X Factor. How about over in the Western Conference? What about a guy like Kawhi Leonard? Does Kawhi? If we're talking about the Spurs, they're dead men walking, and they got these old guys who are banged up, and a young player's got to step up. Kawhi Leonard's got to take the best guy every night and probably provide them with 15 to 16 points. I think that's going to happen because I see them getting through. I think Kawhi Leonard's going to be I mean, right now everyone sees him as a really good trade asset, a really good young player. I think he's going to make that leap here in the playoffs.
He fights for every last rebound. He's going to be that. When Anderson Varejao is healthy, that's how I see Kawhi Leonard all the time. He's very aggressive on not giving teams second chance opportunities on off the.
And I remember him in college, and do you remember when BYU got up to number 7 in the country and San Diego State was number 4? It was a big national TV game between two teams out in the WCC, and Jimmer just lit them up.
Yeah.
And I just did not see Kawhi Leonard coming when they traded George Hill for the rights to Kawhi Leonard. I was like, all right. I mean, you're San Antonio. It's kind of like the New England Patriots. You don't question what they're doing,
right?
And it's worked out for them, and I think it's going to really pay off this postseason.
And I've seen him. He's developed a 3 this season that's working quite well for him.
Everyone on that team can shoot, it seems.
We've mentioned Jeff Green. I feel like he's a huge X factor for the Celtics. And another guy, I guess maybe Ty Lawson. He's played. He had a rough start to the year after getting his extension, but he's really played well. He's averaging over 16 a game, and they're really going to count on him now with Gallinari out. To carry the load offensively, both setting guys up and scoring. So if he has a big postseason, they have a chance against the Spurs.
I know he's a force in the NBA. I would say he's a force in the NBA now. He's a starter, but he's kind of quiet and reserved. A guy like Kenneth Faried of the Nuggets. What do you? Yeah, the Manimal. How do you guys think about what he's going to be able to do this postseason?
I mean, he's a double-double guy. He just outworks people. He's not that big. He's only 6'7", maybe 6'8" with his hair up, but. He's a tough guy, and that's a guy I would like to have on my team.
Yeah, I think his style is equipped for the playoffs. Remember the 13th seeded Morehead State upset in Louisville. The guy is just a guy that battles like every game is a playoff game, and it's only going to be magnified.
That's why I definitely see a player like him posting big numbers in the playoffs.
Hopefully it rubs off on JaVale. If you could just put Kenneth Faried's mind in JaVale McGee's body, you would have the next great NBA player.
Going into this video, I was thinking about saying that Kobe Bryant's Twitter was going to be the X factor for the playoffs. I think he should run like the NBA's Twitter.
Yeah, he definitely should.
When he's.
That's honestly, I'm enjoying having way more fun watching Kobe live tweet games than I ever had watching him play. It's cool. The Lakers are having more fun without Kobe Bryant. There's no doubt in my mind they're having more fun without him out there, and he's doing a good job on Twitter. So Dwight looks happy.
Yeah. Hopefully that leads to success for them, and the Lakers could end up amnestying Kobe when it's all said and done. I don't know if he's going to make a comeback, but hopefully for the sake of basketball he does, because I'd love to see him play again. But with that said, we're going to wrap up here. Marlowe, Danny, thank you guys so much for hopping on the NBA video. Now you guys want to shout out your Twitter handles?
At Marlowe Alter.
I'm at Danny Medlock.
You can follow me,
Real original.
We'll follow back.
You can follow me, Kolesar Z. And make sure to go to SpeakeasyOhioU.com for all your Bobcat sports news, and to check up on our podcast, to check up on our videos as well. And also make sure to follow at Sports Speakeasy. For Speakeasy Sports, I'm Zak Kolesar. Have a nice day.